So Catarina, like, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad that you're finally in here to talk about all your accomplishments, because I can literally remember sitting in middle school, like during PE, and hearing your name over the loudspeakers, and I was like, that girl is doing something, because I mean, it's just crazy.
What was
Thank
that
you.
like for you running like so high varsity in middle school?
Honestly, it was actually fun. Like, it wasn't like I expected to be like, oh, this is gonna be terrifying. I'm like 4 years younger, even more sometimes, like than some of
Like
these
what,
kids.
12?
Yes,
Yeah.
like that's like insane, and like running like 18-year-olds.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's like insane. That age gap is crazy.
Not
Yes,
even a
it was insane.
teenager and running against
I know.
practically adults.
I felt literally like a ant running on that track. Like, I'm not very tall.
Here
so
comes
it
little
doesn't help.
Catarina.
Exactly.
So what was it like your first state experience?
So my first ever running up for varsity, we had this like one meet, and it was like a smaller meet, so there wasn't a lot of like really big schools like you're considered like Hoover or Vestavia,
Yeah.
like they weren't there.
Yeah.
But we had this like, it was just really funny because I was in like one of the slower heats. I wasn't as vasty because everyone was like, oh, she's a middle schooler. Like, we're just gonna see what she can do. And I got on the line, and there's this really tall girl. She's like, I don't even, like 6'5". I'm over exaggerating that, but I don't know.
This giant.
She seemed like it, and she was like, oh, honey, are you in the wrong place? And I was
Oh.
like, there's no way she's talking to me like this right now.
Yeah.
And I was just like sitting there, and I was like, oh, like, am I in this heat? Like, I was like acting all confused. 'Cause I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I'm gonna trick this girl.
Oh, you're playing her off. You're doing her dirty.
And we got on the line, and I was like, do I stand here? Like, do I go when the gun goes off? Like, when do I go? And she
Yeah.
was like, oh, like, you don't know anything, do you? And I was like, no, I don't even know what race we're running right now. And I was like, really confusing her.
No, you didn't. Oh my gosh.
And then the gun goes off, and the second it goes off, I look back at her, and little middle school me, just big old ego right there. I looked at her, and I was like, bye. And I said bye, like, when the gun goes off. Yeah.
Oh my
And then, like,
gosh.
the race was going, and it was fine. And then she, like, I think this was a mile, so it's like 4 laps on the track. And
Yeah.
we were going, and it was like 3 laps in, and then like she came up behind me, and she was like, I thought you said bye. And I was like, I did. And then I took off again, and I literally crossed the line. And like, I was like, not even like, I feel like I wasn't, like I was trying, but like not, because I could still talk. Like, I was not out of breath. I was just having a good time with it. And I crossed the line, literally stood there, looked back, and I was like, what time did you run again? And she was like, she looked at her time, and then she was like, oh, I ran this. And I was like, I think I know what place I'm supposed to be in. I think I know where I am. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And she was like,
Talk about an entrance. Oh my gosh.
she was like, did you lie? And I was like, what do you think? And then I walked away. Like, I was just really sassy because I like, was
Yeah.
honestly so like,
fed up.
yeah, like
come
she was just
on.
acting like I was like a 4-year-old kid. And I was young, but like,
Yeah.
I was so like, there's no way. I'm just about to show
You're
this
like,
girl
there's
up."
no way this girl is doing this to me right now.
Exactly.
Oh my word. That's crazy.
So what was it like? I know you ran state, but to get to state, you had to run sectionals.
Yes.
And that race, I watched that race. You were like 200 meters behind in a 400. What was
Yes.
that race like for you?
What?
It
What?
was very crazy. We had a lot of like, there's a lot of wind advisory in that race,
Yeah.
and I'm more of your typical like mid distance. Like, I have more endurance than some of these sprinters,
Yeah.
and this whole race, like, this was all like your fastest, like, take out like your 200 girls. Like, they were like these big like built girls, and I'm over here like, again, like same storyline. Like, I'm just like, hey, like, I don't look like your typical 400 runner.
No, you do not.
For sure. But there was so the gun goes off, we're running, and they all take off. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, holy crap, like, what is happening? Like, I look over, and my coach just like hands in the air, like, what is going on? Like, everyone was just like, what is she doing? And then the wind starts blowing like crazy. And they're not like I said, like, they don't have as much as nerves as I do. And they were slowing down. And I was like, I was just thinking to myself, like, let's do this.
This is your time to
Yes,
shine.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I sped up, and in this heat, there was this girl she's a Hoover runner, unbeatable since like, well, I can't even remember. Like, she's literally been unbeatable forever, and
Yeah.
she's so like, she's just amazing. And I see her within like a couple steps in front of me, and I was like, wait, like, this could be actually something big.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the race, maybe like 50 meters to go, which is barely anything, I like speed up and I pass her. And I was standing there, and I crossed the line, but like, I didn't know if I passed her because we literally went across the line at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And I was standing
Oh
there,
my
and there's like
goodness.
these big like boards that you look at.
Yeah, I remember the whole stance was quiet.
Yes, the whole stance just goes dead silent. No one knows who got first because like whoever got first gets the best placement for state, the best lane.
Yeah.
And I look up there and I'm just standing there, and the board, like the whole meet, it was going fast. Like you could see the results instantly. This race, it literally took like a couple minutes. I swear it was so long.
Oh my gosh.
And I look up there and like I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. And I like look at the time. It's a PR. It says my name for first. And I'm like cheering.
Yes.
I'm so excited. I have like my entire like team, like they're in the stands. I watch them like literally like sprint down. They're all coming to me, all
that's
hugging me.
awesome.
It was
Oh
so
my
fun. It was
gosh.
so amazing.
Oh
And
my
then got
gosh.
the placement for state. So yeah.
Hey, well, what if your coaches like? What role have your coaches played in getting you there?
So our head coach, Coach Moore, he has played in a men's role. Like he really understands that I'm not as like, we have some girls that run like the 5K like consistently, and I do the 5K for cross country, but
Yeah.
I don't have that like, I'm not very like, it's difficult for me. The
Yeah.
easy terms. I'm very like, I'm speed wise. Like that's just
Yeah.
how I am.
Short distance,
Yes.
short burst,
Like
fast
that's
twitch.
just how I
Yeah.
am, and like I enjoy that a lot more because cross country is a lot. But
Yeah.
and he understands that, and he definitely I wouldn't say he trains me separately, but he does pay attention to like she needs to pull back on this a little more, and like he really just understands like if I'm like like I'm really struggling on this, he understands how to help.
Yeah, that's
so that
awesome.
helps. And then my mom
Yeah, your
is
mom.
actually one of my coaches, and so that also is just fun seeing her every day out there.
Yeah, how is that? Like, do y'all keep home life and track life separate?
She is honestly really, really good at that. I wouldn't say she's a completely different person at track because that sounds like she's being like fake.
Yeah.
But she is definitely like, I'll go to track and she's not going to be like, did you do your chores? Like, you need to do this, you need to do that. Like, she's not like that. She's more, okay, like, what was your pace for this rep? Like, stuff like that. Like, she's not going to be like, oh, like, this is wrong. Like,
Yeah.
she's not going to like yell at me or anything like that. She's really
That's
good at keeping
awesome.
it separate. So that's really good.
So,
so
you know, she
great.
was like one of the top state finishers when she was in high school. What's that like chasing her PR? Because I know it's like a 2:04. What's that like
Which is insane.
chasing it?
It's definitely a big like motivation for me because I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm far off, but I'm definitely not there yet because she
Yeah.
ran that her senior year. I'm a junior. I'm going into it.
Yeah, you got 2 more years.
Yes, I haven't even started track season yet. I'm still in cross country. It's definitely motivational because I'll look at her times, and sometimes before races I'll write it on my wrist, and I'll like
That's
when I'm running, like I'll be able to
awesome.
like look down and stuff, and I'm definitely
Yeah.
like I'm inching closer and closer to it. And every time I go up to her after a race, I'm like, I'm almost there. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
Every single
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
So it's definitely
love
helps.
that. Love that camaraderie, you
Yes.
know? And you're at a 2:12 right now?
I'm at 2:13, so close,
2:13.
yes.
So yeah. Oh, so you're like 9 seconds away.
Which is
Yeah.
really close.
That's crazy. And 9 seconds is like, you don't think 9 seconds is a lot, but when you run track that fast,
Yes.
it's a lot.
It's a difference
Yeah.
of like basically 100 meters sometimes.
Yes,
which
exactly.
is insane.
That's crazy. Oh my goodness. So I know you're the captain too of both cross country and track.
Yes.
How is like your leadership style and like what motivates the girls?
I like to barely like I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm your captain, like do this. Like that
Yeah.
I don't like to be bossy like
Assertive,
that.
yeah,
Yes,
no.
like that's
Yeah.
just not how I am. I'm more of a let's go get dinner, like let's go talk and let's go have fun
Yes.
like that. And then I will, oh, like this workout's really hard. Y'all wanna come run this rep with me? Like, do you want to try to push the pace a little bit? And I'm just gonna bring up the underclassmen and all the like the girls that are struggling who are new to this sport.
Yeah.
And just bring them up with me.
Like building up the team, like building up
Yeah.
your program
Exactly.
almost. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Building those relations.
So it's junior year for you. It's middle of recruiting season. So
Yeah.
what is college looking like for you right now?
Definitely want to run.
Yeah.
Big given there. I'm looking at a lot of SEC schools.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be, I hear the saying a lot, either be a big name in a small pool or a small name in a big pool. I hate that saying.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate it.
yeah.
Because then that's saying to be like a big person, like you have to be able to go, you have to go like,
Smaller.
yes, like a smaller
Yeah.
school. And I really don't want to do that. Like I want to be
The
I wanna
big
go-
name in the big school.
Exactly. Like that's, I want to change that saying and actually put a better title on that.
Yeah.
There's this one runner who she runs for Florida State. She went to the Olympics. Her name is Parker Balby. She does a lot of distance stuff. She's not the same events as me, but she is one of the most like gorgeous runners I think I've ever seen. And she has like a big like social media following and all this stuff. And she is the definition of a big name in a big school.
Yeah.
Because that school has the most amazing runners ever. Like they have the amount of gold medals that comes from that college is actually insane.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and
Okay.
she is just such an inspiration. Like she will like, I don't know, like I'll look at her and I'll be like, okay, so she's doing this. She's she's grabbing the crowd's attention by doing this. Like I'm just, like studying that and figuring out how to do
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like striving to
Putting
be
in the work.
like her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so what is it like for you to be like, so obviously Mama's on the team, but also I'm on the team. What's that like for you?
I love it. I love having you on the team because let's say, okay, we just had a hard workout. Let's go get slushies. I'm just gonna be like, Annabelle, get in my car. We're gonna go get
Yes,
like,
yes.
Or I'll be like, okay, well, we have this thing called, we have Captain's Day.
Yeah.
And it's like, our team gets separated into 4 different groups. And Annabelle's on my team.
Oh, that's
biggest hype
awesome.
woman. Like, literally, I'll be like, okay, y'all, like, you need to get hyped up. And my other people on the team, they're just like, I don't want to be loud. Like, that's embarrassing. And Annabelle will be like, let's go.
Yeah, that's
She's, like,
sisterly
yelling.
love. That's sisterly
It's
love.
so fun. Like, she is the most fun person I know. And I love having her around.
She absolutely is. I love her. I love her so much.
Oh my gosh.
Well, so like when you're running, you have like a big climate change. Like you go from super, super hot to freezing, freezing cold to super, super hot again.
Exactly.
Like, how do you deal with that?
Personally, I hate the cold. So, like, I absolutely
Yeah.
hate it when it's like winter time, and that's towards like the end of cross country going into like indoor season.
Yeah.
I will have arm sleeves on. I will have sweatshirts on. I literally like I will run
Your
in like 4
hoodies,
pairs of pants.
yes.
Like I hate it. But it also at the same time, it definitely pushes my limits because then eventually you're gonna get sweaty and you're gonna get hot. And You're gonna have to
Exactly,
take off those
yes.
layers, sadly. But it's like you will like your legs, they're going to feel numb. Like you have to be able to like it's a mental barrier and it really
Yeah.
helps with everything else. Like when you're in a cold cross country race, you're gonna think of that practice where it was cold, you did that workout. Like you're gonna go back and you're gonna think of it
And
it's
it
gonna help
reassures you.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's awesome.
So obviously your training helps a lot, but what does it take mentally for like to take that switch all the time?
Mentally, it's very difficult. I would say, oh, it's easy. Like I can do that easily. Like
Yeah.
mental. What's that? I'm a runner. No, it is the hardest thing ever. And like the amount of times, like sadly as it is to actually say it, and I'm like, I'm quitting. Like I'm giving up. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
But it really like it's really difficult. And having a team that back me up, they're all going to the exact same thing. We're all feeling the same weather. We're all feeling the same race, the same like struggle. It really helps.
And obviously saying you're gonna quit and actually quitting is a difference. There's like
Yeah.
people at practice that'll be like, I'm so done with this sport.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like we'll have our
Exactly.
athletes, our words. Our best, we'll have our best athletes be like, I'm quitting. I'm not coming back. And then they're literally here at 5:45 weight room the next morning.
Exactly.
So it doesn't really
Exactly.
like stick to their word.
Yeah.
And it's so like you need those moments because even in soccer we're like that. We're like, oh, like today's been like super, super tough. Like what the heck? But it's like you need those moments to build you up for those big races.
Exactly.
So
It's like those little moments that pay off.
exactly.
Okay, what's your favorite moment that you've had while running?
Favorite moment that I've had. That's actually a really hard one because there's just so much that goes on. Like cross country is a 24/7 thing. You can't
Yeah.
take off. Like if you take off a week, you're behind.
Yeah.
So you're constantly with your team. You're constantly
Yeah.
running. Same with track. Favorite moment. That's actually really difficult. It's honestly not my race.
Yeah.
It's one of my really good friends. She just graduated last year. She went to Middle Tennessee. And she was like constantly like her senior year was just such a struggle. Like she
Yeah.
was constantly like fighting over and actually Bailey Cole's older sister. So
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
she was constantly fighting a bunch of like random like she had heart problems. Like she was
Oh
just
my
really
gosh.
struggling.
Yeah.
And then state comes around and we're all in the same race and like I had been beating her all year and usually like the mile was her event, like it wasn't mine. Like so I was like, okay, like I need to like actually push her up. And she had this one girl in that heat that she did not like. She cannot stand him or stand her at all. And then so the gun goes off and this is state, so it's the biggest meet, like it's the last indoor meet of her senior season.
Yeah.
Girl takes off. I'm like looking ahead. I'm like, this is not real. What is happening?
Yes.
Like, I'm like so scared. Like she's about to die. Like she's
Yeah.
about to die
Yeah.
out. She goes and she goes and goes and like she got second in the state and she was ranked maybe 15th.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
wow.
And she got her school record, so
wow.
she has her indoor record.
Dang.
Best race of my
okay.
life, of her life, and honestly, my life, because I literally, like, I had a good time, so I was happy too. I crossed the finish line, And I literally like, she's like, there's a high jump mat right next to the finish line. She's
Yes.
like dead on the high jump mat. I literally run and like jump on top of her.
Yes.
And then
Oh my
like I hugged her
gosh.
and she was so happy. And like she had not like, usually like when people keep on talking about their races and they're like, okay, this is annoying. Like you need to give it up. She, like I loved hearing her talk about it because she would
Yeah.
explain her race and she would explain like her final lap and how it was. Like, cause she literally like, usually your last lap is really, really difficult because you're close, but you also feel like you're so far away.
So far away. Yeah.
She was moving.
Especially
And-
in indoor because the mile's 8 laps.
Yes,
I can't
and it's like
even,
Yeah, so
over,
you have
and it's a
2 more
small little
left.
lap.
Yeah.
It's terrible, but she actually killed it, and I was so proud of her. And like that whole day, we went to dinner after that meet, and like it was just one of the most fun days ever.
That's awesome.
I love that your
And,
favorite
like,
moment for running
is someone else.
I know.
Yes, that is so sweet.
Thank
Oh my
you.
word. And especially if like for her senior year to finish it off like that. Like
It was so
That's a
heartwarming.
great
that's
way
a
to
great way to
end.
go
Yes.
out. Yeah.
for
Oh
sure.
my goodness. So when the going gets tough and like when you have those tough last laps, do you have like any tips and tricks that you use to like push past the pain?
Honestly, one of my biggest for like actually running, move your arms faster. Your legs are gonna feel literally dead. You're gonna feel like you're
Yeah.
gonna faceplant every
Like an
second.
elephant.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you just move your arms faster, you're gonna look maybe a little funny because you're gonna think you're running normal, but literally like it's gonna look like you're like actually like looking so weird. Your legs will move with your arms, no matter what, and make your final lap count. Like
Yeah.
don't just be like, okay, I'm gonna hold this pace. If there is someone in front of you, strive to pass them. Like don't just be like, oh, like I'm gonna let them go. They're going so much fast. Like I'm just gonna let them have their race. No, you need to worry about
Yeah.
passing them because
Yeah.
points matter. Some people say track is an individual sport. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
Every single person that you like pass, you get a point because of your placement. Top 8 scores points. It goes down. Number 1 is 8 points, and it goes down from there. And overall, like everyone gets added. Like your high jump will get added to like running points. Like everybody on the team is scoring points.
Yeah.
And eventually like that helps add up to everything. And it's basically like, I'm not going to compare it to like basketball or soccer or anything like
Yeah.
that, but it's like scoring a goal. Like you have a certain amount of points, and if you score more points than the other teams, of course you're going to get like you're going to win. So it's
Exactly.
not an individual sport.
And then do your points like do they join with like the other athletes' points as well? And then it's like an overall score. So then your
Yes.
team is like at the top.
Exactly. It all adds together, makes one big like you're
Big
just like
pool.
yes, exactly.
And you want the most points.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's
so,
awesome.
what's the biggest advice you have to upcoming runners?
Biggest advice. Well, obviously don't give up because it's going to seem impossible when you first start. Like when I
Yeah.
first started running, I was like, I barely could finish the mile and I really was like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I just really don't
You're
want
like,
to do
is
this.
this really my sport? I don't know.
And another advice, find a group and a team that you enjoy to run with because when you have your long runs, you're going to be stuck with them for maybe an hour of just straight running.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. And eventually, like, you might find them annoying. Yes, you're going to be with them a lot. But in the end, like, those are the people who are going to be there for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Find that
Those are the
group.
girls that you're gonna come back to.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, thanks so much for like coming in.
Of
and telling us
course.
all about
Great
that.
having you here today.
Thank you
Yes.
for having me.
Woo!